Hi, I'm Larry London. Today on Border Crossings, we welcome to the Music Alley Studios one of country music's most famous groups, the Oak Ridge Boys. The Oak Ridge Boys started out as a gospel group back in the 1940s, and they made the move to country music in the 1970s. And since that time, they have reached number one on the Billboard Country Music charts 17 times. The Oak Ridge Boys have received every award possible in country music, and in 2011 they became members of the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville, Tennessee. Today, all four members of the Oak Ridge Boys join us on Border Crossings to talk about their first ever live CD, Boys Night Out. And they'll sing a few of their biggest hits, so stay tuned for a very special edition of Border Crossings. When you talk about icons and you talk about legends, definitely the Oak Ridge Boys come up in that conversation each and every time. We welcome the Oak Ridge Boys to Washington, D.C. and to the Voice of America. Welcome, guys.
Thanks, Larry.
It is great to have you here. Joe is here, Dwayne, William, Lee, and Richard. And my gosh, congratulations on all the success you guys have had and continue to have. There's got to be a trick. There's got to be something that keeps a band together for as many years as you guys have been together. What is it? What's the secret?
You got to love what you're doing.
Love what you're doing.
Yes, sir.
And obviously you do, but the question is, why did you wait all these years to put out a live album, the new live album, Boys Night Out?
Well, last year, Dwayne Allen had an idea that we have not cut all of our hits live. And I think that, did we start this plan even before Cleopatra?
We actually did. Cleopatra came along during the time when they heard we were doing a live album, and they wanted to get a copy of at least one edition of it.
So Cleopatra Records is like the largest independent label in the world,
right?
And they took interest in the Oak Ridge Boys right about the time that we were recording a bunch of shows live. And as of this point in time, we have every hit we have ever had, which is a big charted hit or classic Oak Ridge Boys song, so to speak, we have a live version of. We have been recording live, actually, right up until just even a month ago. And so Cleopatra came in. We have all these songs. I mean, we could put out a whole string of live albums, I guess. We could put out a box set eventually, which may happen.
Now, Richard, have you always had that deep voice? I mean, when did you all of a sudden, when did you go through the change in life?
I was in junior high school. The first singing I ever did, it's hard to believe, was as a boy soprano.
No.
I was in Sunday school. I was about 6 years old. But I had a high voice up until I was in junior high school. I sang tenor in the 7th grade. Between the 7th and 8th grade year in junior high school, my voice made a drastic change. And I went back for my 8th grade year, and the choir teacher put me in the bass section, and obviously I've been there ever since.
Man, I wish I had your voice. That's for what I do.
Everybody does.
Now, okay, live album. Is there a place that you haven't played on the planet?
Yeah. In fact, we have not toured worldwide as much as one might think. We've done a lot of work in Europe and Scandinavia and Germany, some places like that. But as far as the Orient and Australia and New Zealand and places like that, we really haven't. And it's funny you would ask that because I think we're probably on the verge of doing more overseas work than we have done for the last couple of decades. Cleopatra is an international label. The album's going to release worldwide. We've been doing a lot of international press lately, and including being here with you on Border Crossings today. A lot of people are hearing us around the world. And I think people around the world, music people especially, are looking at the Oak Ridge Boys and going, wow, those guys are still around. They've been singing together 41 years, and some opportunities are starting to present themselves overseas. So we're starting to look seriously at putting together the right tour, maybe going to the Orient for the first time. It would be really fun to sing in Japan, I think.
Yeah, we were talking about that off the air.
You were mentioning the audiences over there and how unique they are compared to American audiences.
And you will love it. I mean, Japanese people, and we're broadcasting all throughout Asia and China as well. You've never been to China.
Never been to China.
Would love to go.
That's another place that...
I've never even been to Spain.
Sounds like a song.
I'm sorry.
Well, you guys, you have... you're at a point in your career where you can be very selective in what you do, and you don't have to work as hard. So why do you? Why do you want to... Now we're going to pick it up. Now we're going to kick it into gear.
I don't know. It's just the work ethic of the Oak Ridge Boys, man. We've always been a hard-working group of guys. We've always enjoyed playing dates. We've always enjoyed getting on the bus and touring, and it hasn't ever really, waned at all. Like to me, to all of us, we get on the bus, man, and it's time to go sing. Yay, it's time to go sing. We hug each other and say, let's go. And it's always been that way for the 41 years I've been here, that attitude, that esprit de corps, so to speak, of being the Oak Ridge Boys, let's go get them. And it just doesn't go away. I don't think we realize that we're as old as we are, to be honest. And I guess as long as God provides us with the health to be able to do this, and he has so far, and we give him the praise for it, hey, why not keep singing, man? We're singing songs here. We're not splitting the atom. We're singing songs. We're very, very lucky to have that opportunity, and fortunate to have the career we've had.
How did you guys meet as a group? I mean, because this band has gone through a member change over and over and over since they started. 41. Well, actually, 1940s is when they started. Yes. And so, how did you come to be the four that ended up being the Oak Ridge Boys?
Well, the group was actually formed in the 40s, as you mentioned, and each one of us replaced a member who was already going. In fact, I was a fan of the Oak Ridge Boys before I was a group member. Mm-hmm. And I was a college student in Texas. I had my own radio show. And the first album that I got sent to me to play on my radio show was the Oak Ridge Boys. And I was a huge fan of the group long before I ever became a member. When I graduated from college, and I sang with another group for a year first, and then I got drafted. And as soon as I got out of the Army, the Oak Ridge name came into being, and I got an opportunity to join the group, and I've been here since '66.
Wow. And your son sang with the band for a while, right?
He actually sang when we had a personnel change.
Uh-huh.
He stepped in. There have been about 3 or 4 occasions where I was sick or something, and he came in and replaced me and sang my part, and he sang the baritone part. My son-in-law, Paul Martin, also filled in some for us in one personnel change when we needed a little help.
But you guys, you all came from other bands and other backgrounds and had been singing. And I think when it started, it was gospel music. Is that correct?
We all got our start in Southern-style gospel quartet music. That's kind of a first love for us. The Oak Ridge Boys themselves were a Southern-style gospel act for many, many, many years. Right. We still sing a lot of gospel. We still sing gospel in the shows. People like to hear it. William Lee first joined the group in 1965. He's been here the longest, actually, from Alabama. And Richard joined in 72, like Dwayne said, in 66. And I joined the group in 73, so I'm the new guy.
You're the new kid.
I'm the new kid.
That's fantastic. I mean, to have the chemistry that you guys have and to still be together, and the original band members here, that since, I don't know, the year was that you started together as a band? It wasn't 96. It was before that. Your first album came out.
Right. The four of us have been singing together since 73, except for that little break time.
Right.
And our first big country album was 1977. That was the Y'all Come Back Saloon album. That was the thing that changed everything.
Triple platinum.
Yeah, man. It took us from being a little starving act into all of a sudden everybody knowing who we were. So it was a big deal for us. And then fortunately, we were able to follow it up album after album after album. So,
oh yes. How did you pick the songs you picked for the live album? That's got to be a difficult thing to do, because with all your CDs and all your hits, and you can only go with a live show that's got 12 songs on it or so, how do you figure out which 12 or 13 you want to put on an album?
Well, Cleopatra was very active in that. They sent us a list of songs that they wanted, and we did a little tweaking to that so that we could have a good balance of everybody being featured, because we're one of those groups that is pretty rare. Each of the 4 of us have had hit records singing lead for the Oak Ridge Boys. When that happens, the other 3 back up and do the harmony parts. So we wanted every vocalist to have a feature, and hopefully a little bit more than that, more features, so that it would show more of what we do when we're in a live concert. So we picked out 14 songs that was an equal mix of ballads, up-tempo songs, hand-clapping, foot-stomping songs, and just a good example of what it would be to go to a live Oak Ridge Boys show. There's not a lot of talking on the album. We don't do a lot of talking. We sing. And there are times in our show that we might do 14 songs back-to-back and never talk. So if you're looking for an album that's got a lot of talking and patter in it. There's not a lot in this. We do 14 songs live with our band, and there's not a lot of tweaking in it. It's pretty raw. It's pretty much the way we sound in person.
Well, that's great because people around the world are now getting a chance to hear you do the talking and to learn a little bit more about you and meet you if they don't already know about you. But we're going to ask you now to sing. And since you're talking about a song that each guy leads on, how about this? We'll go back to the one that you're leading on, Dwayne.
Good.
Here we go.
Let's do it.
And there it is.
Seems everything I buy these days has got a foreign name.
From the kind of car I drive to my video game.
I've got a Nikon camera, a Sony color TV.
But the one that I love is from the USA and standing next to me. My baby is American made, born and bred in the USA. From her silky long hair to her sexy long legs, my baby is American made.
She looks good in her tight blue jeans she bought in Mexico. Whoa, whoa.
And she loves wearing French perfume everywhere we go.
But when it comes to the loving part, one thing is true.
My baby's genuine USA, red, white, and blue. My baby is American made, born and bred in the USA. From her silky long hair to her sexy long legs, my baby is American made. My baby is American made, born and bred in the USA. From her silky long hair to her sexy long legs, my baby is American made. My baby is American made, born and bred in the USA. From her silky long hair to her sexy long legs, my baby is American made.
Woo, the Oak Ridge Boys live here on Border Crossings. 41 years of doing this, and you guys sound great and still having fun. And that's what it's all about. You're still having fun and enjoying yourselves.
Yes, we are.
Country music has the most loyal fans, I think, of all music formats. Would you agree?
I do agree. We've just returned from a big cruise, and we had hundreds of fans with us, fans and friends. We had an opportunity to get a lot of FaceTime with each and every one of them. And I think probably that's the best part about our country music industry is the artists usually don't lock themselves away. They go out and meet the people. And that was one of the most enjoyable things I had about the whole cruise was getting to know other people. I know everything about me, so I grow by learning about other people. And I think country music is very, very receptive to the fans, much more so than any other field of music.
Well, country music fans are very, very loyal and have been loyal to you guys, and you've been loyal to them as well by sticking together as long as you have. The Oak Ridge Boys are our guests, very special guests, and what an honor it is to have you guys here. Could you do another song for us?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we'll try.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll try it.
Can't you feel it in your bones? A change is coming on from every walk of life. People seeing the light. And can't you feel it in your heart now? A new thing is taking shape. Reach out and touch a hand. Make a friend if you can. Reach out and touch a hand. Make a friend if you can. Reach out and touch a hand. And make a friend if you can.
Great band. This is our band. That's Ronnie Fairchild playing keyboard.
I've read about you, my friend. Ain't it time that you come on in? Now we can find a better way. Why don't you join us today? Now can't you feel it in your heart now? A new thing is taking shape. Reach out and touch a hand. Make a friend if you can. Reach out and touch a hand. And make a friend if you can. Reach out and touch a hand. And make a friend if you can. Been reflected in the attitude of other people just like you. So reach out and touch a hand. Make a friend if you can. Hard now. There's a new thing taking shape. So reach out and touch a hand. Make a friend if you can. Reach out and touch a hand. Make a friend if you can. Reach out and touch a hand. And make a friend if you can. Reach out and touch a hand. Make a friend if you can. Reach out and touch a hand. And make a friend if you can. One more time. Reach out and touch a hand, y'all. Make a friend if you can. Reach out and touch a hand. And make a friend if you can.
Oak Ridge Boys live on Border Crossings on the Voice of America. I can't think of a better way to start off the week than to have you guys here. The Oak Ridge Boys are promoting a brand new album, which is Boys Night Out, and it's their first live album in all these years. Well overdue, and hopefully the first of a number of other live albums still to come. And Richard was talking about performing for a family, the whole young kids, all the way up to grandma and grandpa, whatever the age is. It must be rewarding to watch your fans grow up. To watch, I'm sure you've seen a lot of the same fans come, the loyal fans, and you watch them through the years as they've watched you guys grow.
Well, there's no question about it. Obviously, we are not kids any longer. And a lot of our fans are not kids any longer. We have watched them. We have watched them grow older with us. But it's a very rewarding thing. There's no question about it.
The Oak Ridge Boys are here, and of all the highlights in your career, what stands out? I'm sure each one of you has a different highlight, but what stands out near the top or at the top as far as the great things that have happened? Because you've had Grammys and #1 hits and touring and all these things that only musicians dream about, but you guys have had it. So what would be a highlight?
I think a big highlight was a couple of years ago we were invited to join the Grand Ole Opry. And that was a real big deal for us because it's a mother church of country music. And the Oak Ridge Boys' ties to the Grand Ole Opry go back to the 40s, where the Oak Ridge Quartet started the all-night gospel singings, and it was on Friday night. And the Oak Ridge Quartet would be broadcast on WSM, and on Friday night, that eventually turned into the Friday Night Opry. So we go way back with the Grand Ole Opry, and to be invited to join after so many years was a huge treat for us.
That the same for all of you? You all agree?
Oh, yeah.
That's been your highlight, the Grand Ole Opry?
Big. We've been a friend of the Opry for years. We've played the Opry for years, but when they all of a sudden made us members, official members of the Grand Ole Opry, we kind of thought that ship had sailed maybe years ago. And when it finally happened, it was, I think, more moving to us than we even expected it to be. I always equated it with the fact that what it's like when you go over to somebody's house for dinner every once in a while and you feel good about it, and then one night they say, hey, move on in, stay with us. And it was kind of that feeling for me. I've always enjoyed playing the Opry. We're going to be playing it a bunch this spring again. But to be an actual member, and
wow,
it's just a whole different feel with everybody there. I mean, because a lot of classic artists, are members of the Opry who have great histories and great careers, and then a lot of the new kids that have, been doing so well, as we talked about earlier, are now members of the Opry. So it's a unique family, and we're honored to be a part of the circle. And
you mentioned, that your guys have plans for touring internationally and whatnot in the months and years ahead. And I see you're tech savvy. You're tweeting, you're texting, you're doing all that stuff. Where can people find out about you guys around the world that might be listening or tuning in right now, watching?
Okay, well, on the World Wide Web, our website is oakridgeboys.com. That's kind of the bridge to everywhere for us. Everything is there, our updated news, our message boards, our tour schedules, everything. And that would be the easiest way. We have a big Facebook presence at facebook.com/oakridgeboys. It's growing every day. And our Twitter following has been a lot of fun, and that is at Oak Ridge Boys. And you can even follow the individual Oaks on Twitter, and we have a lot of fun with the tweets.
Now, people can write you and tweet you and keep in touch with you. Again, the website is oakridgeboys.com.
Oakridgeboys.com, yes, sir.
Can they get the CD from your site? Is there a link to buy it there as well as Amazon?
Yes, there is. We have a merchandise. They can buy so many things at oakridgeboys.com. You won't believe it. I mean, we've got everything for sale there.
Now, I know you guys have other interviews to do, and it's we're getting near the end of the show, and we've got another song to perform. But I still have to have an opportunity to talk to legends like you guys.
Thanks.
I have to ask a few of these questions. The music industry's changed since you started. Would you say it's changed for the better or for the worse? Because there's tremendous changes, today versus when you started. I mean, it's all technical. You don't have to be in the same room anymore. Now they're selling songs instead of albums for 99 cents a song. And so, I may be dating myself. I don't know what they sell songs for, the cost of them anymore. But it makes it harder to sell records, harder to sell albums.
Well, you just have to have a little bit of ingenuity. The Oak Ridge Boys have never really been in the record business as far as making money. Our salaries are paid from our live concerts. We are a hard ticket selling group. We work 150 days of hard ticket sales. Wow. When we have had the opportunity to be on radio and sell a lot of records, that's more or less been gravy on the steak for us, because we've also had that run on television.
Right.
And we basically use radio and television to publicize what the Oak Ridge Boys do in person, in concert. And when we have radio airplay or when we have TV appearances, we see people in those seats fill up. And that's where we make our living, in a concert setting. So radio has been very good to us. We're not on major country radio anymore, but we get lots of airplay from secondary radio, from classic country, from gospel. We get lots of airplay on all of the other radio stations. So I can't say we've disappeared from country radio, just the major ones, which are playing the younger acts. But that is the same thing that happened when we came in. It was changing then, too.
Right.
The music industry is constantly going in cycles. So the secret for the Oak Ridge Boys is to always keep ourselves fresh. So when the cycle comes around, we've got an opportunity to latch on again.
We're thrilled to have you guys in our studios, and I know you talked about Elvira, and I want to save some time to hear that song live on our show, and nobody does it like you guys do it. It's your, I don't know that I'd say it's your biggest hit. It wouldn't be fair because they're all big.
It is.
I just want to be respectful and say they're all huge. Probably it's the song that gets requested most from you guys.
Elvira was a magical song. In 1981 and 1982, from country crossing over into pop, everybody in this country was singing Oom Papa Mau Mau with him.
All right. Well, that's a great lead-in. We're going to have the Oak Ridge Boys do it for us right now, live around the world. Here they are on the Voice of America.
Yay. Thank you, Larry.
Elvira, Elvira, my heart's on fire for Elvira. With eyes that look like heaven, lips like cherry wine, and that girl can sure enough make my little light shine. I get a funny feeling up and down my spine, 'cause I know that my Elvira's mine. I'm singing Elvira, Elvira, my heart's on fire for Elvira. Giddy up,
Boom, pop, boom, pop, mow, mow.
giddy up,
Boom, pop, mow, mow.
high on silver airway. Tonight I'm gonna meet her at the Hungry House Cafe. I'm gonna give her all the love I can. Yes, I am. She's gonna jump and holler, I've saved up my last $2. We're gonna search and find that preacher man. Then I'll be singing Elvira, Elvira, my heart's on fire for Elvira. Giddy up,
Boom, pop, mow, mow.
giddy up,
Boom, pop, mow, mow.
high on silver airway. Look at the crowd we got out there. Elvira, Elvira, my heart's on fire for Elvira. Giddy up,
Boom, pop, mow, mow.
giddy up,
Boom, pop, mow, mow.
high on silver airway. All right. Elvira, Elvira, my heart's on fire for Elvira. Giddy up,
Pop, mow, mow.
giddy up,
Pop, mow, mow.
high on silver airway. Well, I'm singing now, high on silver airway. Elvira. Yeah, all right.
They're standing around the world. They're cheering in the halls.
Right here, look at that. All the voice of America has come to hear Elvira.
The Oak Ridge Boys. Was there an Elvira? Was there really an Elvira? Where did that
Dallas
song
Fraser, who wrote the song, I guess got the name Elvira from a street in Madison, Tennessee, right outside of Nashville. There's an Elvira Street, and I guess.
Papa Mama was the chug holes.
What an honor it is to have you guys in our studios, and a sincere pleasure. And I can't thank you enough for coming in, because I know this isn't easy to do or this early in the morning. So thank you guys for doing this for us.
Well, Larry, thank you, and thank Voice of America. You know, we have a great long history with Voice of America.
Sure
we haven't been in the studios here in a while, and it felt so good to come in here today because you do such a great work all around the world, and our troops are listening out there. And if our men and women who are serving our country are listening, God bless all of you, and stay safe and come home soon. And we appreciate our armed services, and we appreciate the folks around the world listening, and especially appreciate Voice of America and what you're doing for everybody. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, guys. You guys are great. You, and always have been, always will be. Keep it going.
All right,
Keep it
well,
going.
thanks,
Boys Night Out's the new album. This is the Voice of America. It's the Oak Ridge Boys as our guest today. I'm Larry London.